Hello everybody from Plant Reviews. Today is the 15th of April and I will talk about the most fragrant clematis I have in the garden. Clematises are famous usually to be climbing plants, even if obviously this group of plants that has different growing habits. Most of them are climbers, but actually there's some shrubs as well, and also some rockery plants. But the most famous clematises are known by gardeners for the very huge and colorful flowers, big flowers, and due to the fact also that they climb around uh, trees, shrubs, wires, and other plants through leaves that basically cling on other support, as we can see here. Most of them, in the clematises, the leaves basically twist to attach themselves to other surfaces. As you can see, these clematis decided to to twist. I'm sorry, I can't really, to twist the leaves to a bud of actually the same plant, it seems. So however, this is a very peculiar clematis. Clematis Pixie is clematis that has like a spreading habit rather than a climbing habits. What I did with this clematis is actually secure the clematis with some wires to the fence, because this clematis doesn't have leaves that actually can support the plant to climb. Uh, this is due to the fact that it is a cross of two very peculiar species, two New Zealand species. Clematis carmani is a cross between two species that are the Clematis petriae from New Zealand. That is a climber that can be about 2-3 meters tall, and has green flowers, like indeed this plant, usually very fragrant. And the other species used in the cross is actually a rockery species, Clematis marmoraria. It is a non-climbing clematis that is usually found in marble rocky areas. Indeed, the name marmoraria means from the marble, and is used also sometimes as rockery plants. It is about 10 centimeters tall and about the same width. It's a pretty small plant, a very unusual clematis. I don't know if the Clematis marmoraria is actually fragrant. However, what I found is that both these species are so-called dioecious. So actually, they are either female or male plants. Some other clematis are indeed dioecious, like kiwis. So you have like most kiwis, you have and most skimias as well. You have either male plants or female plants. However, the most of the plants in general are hermaphrodite. They are both female and male at the same time, and usually the flowers has both the male and the female genital organs. This plant is I describe it as a pretty small clematis. However, it belongs to the group 1 clematis. The group 1 are clematises that do not need to be pruned unless you have to. And well, as you can see by the sides, I planted it about 3 years ago, and well, you can see that this plant developed well over 3 meters on the fence. So, and it's just the third year. I bought it 3 years ago, and well, unfortunately, because I was really conquered by the fragrance of this plant. It's very citrusy, very intense, and even if the flowers are not very colorful, they're still very bright, It's like a very light lime green, and they are produced absolutely in masses of flowers around the plant. I bought only one plant. This I regret a bit because, as you can see, it is not a very invasive clematis, so it takes a while to have a few gaps in the fence here and there. And definitely, with the hindsight, I would have bought at least 5 or 6 plants, because it would have been beautiful in this time of the year, mid-spring, to have a fence full of these beautiful flower, and the fragrance would have been absolutely stunning. However, even with just one plant, I can still feel the fragrance in half of the garden anyway. The plant is the flowers, unfortunately, are not very big, about 2-3 centimeters, but still, being produced in such big quantities, they do not pass unnoticed when you work in the garden. And even if you would not notice the flowers, you would definitely notice the fragrance. The leaves are quite parsley-like, quite different from the usual clematis leaves that I showed you before. Yeah, I'll give you another shot here. And again, as you can see, they don't have tendrils, so you need to support the plant on the fence. It's a bit, yeah, you have to be a bit careful in tightening this plant quite well to the fence, because otherwise it really can sprawl all over other plants, and you really wouldn't have such a nice display covering a wall or a fence. However, this is a very hardy clematis in my opinion. Well, at least in the UK, it survived very well the beast from the east. The huge snowfall we had 2 years ago, when temperatures dropped to -8, -9 in my garden for about a week. And this is again a clematis I would definitely recommend. It's not that rare. You sometimes find it in nurseries. However, there's many shops online that sell this clematis. I've read an article you put in the comments as well, if you want to read it, about other New Zealand hybrids that were selected by Mr. Cartman in New Zealand, that again is the hybridizer developing these clematis. Other hybrids selected by Cartman are called are the Avalanche, called Avalanche, another one called the Sensation, and Joy. Again, in this article I've read that these hybrids are also dioecious, so you have either female or male plants. I would have loved to breed this plant, however, as you can see, this plant has only stamens, there's no anthers, so this plant is clearly a male plant. So, well, what I could say, I love him very much. And bees and bumblebees also love him very much. As you can see, there is a well, actually I'm not too sure, it looks like a fly with the colors of a bee. However, yeah, a lot of pollinating insects are around this plant. They really are probably attracted by the fragrance, unless if they can see the UV, it might be that with the UV rays the flowers are actually much more colorful than I could ever notice. Anyway, still, even with this bright light green, as you can see, the flowers stand out against not only the fence but also the foliage. The foliage is, as you can see, sparse-like dark green, and is very similar to one of the parents, the Clematis marmoraria. That again is a non-absolutely, obviously being a rockery plant, is a non-climbing clematis. So again, I would say this is a great plant that you can have in your British garden and in many temperate areas, I believe. The fragrance is just absolutely incredible, and definitely if you want to have a fragrant garden, I would absolutely put this in the top 10 plants for fragrance in a garden. And definitely if you love a mid-spring fragrant garden, this is a must, I believe. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time with another one. Bye.